Mayor Mitch Landrieu
Yes.
of New Orleans, thank you for joining us. Understand you were just in Dallas for the memorial service for the officers. That's where I live.
Oh, are you? You do?
Where I live. I own radio stations in Tyler, but I live there. Thank you for going to that.
Thank you. And I'm heading home tomorrow for a memorial service for our officers in Baton Rouge as well.
It's not a good time in history for police officers.
No, it's a very difficult time for the country as it relates to police officers and the relationship with the community and vice versa. I mean, we're in a very serious moment. It's something that we should take seriously and be sobered about, but we have to be clear about it. There are no circumstances, there's no justification, there's no excuse ever for taking the life of a police officer or a law enforcement officer that's trying to protect us. And our first responders do a good job across the country. And I think that's important to say. I also think, though, that it would be disingenuous to ignore the fact that there are difficulties between some police departments around the country and communities, and we have to walk through that. We have to listen to each other. We've got to get that figured out. We have to train our officers, give them the equipment that they need, and then we have to rebuild the relationships with the community as well.
In 2004, when then Senator Barack Obama gave the speech that, in my opinion, launched his career, one of his lines, one of the most cheered lines was, "There is no white America, there is no black America, there's the United States of America." And I think one of the aspirations for his administration was that it would bring about an increased reconciliation between the races. Do you think he succeeded in that?
Well, certainly the president can't do that by himself. You may recall that Mitch McConnell, one of the first things he said is, we're going to do everything to beat this guy. That doesn't really set up, a situation where people work well together, and that, I think, is unfortunate. I will say this, that race relations in this country have gotten better. Nobody can say that over the past 60 or 70 years we're not in a better place than we were when we came out of the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. But I think that in the last, let me finish.
Okay.
I think in the last couple of years we've taken a step back, but I don't think it's something that's irretrievable. And I would say that as it relates to race, this is an issue that we know a lot about in the South. You can't go around this. You can't go over it, you can't go under it. And right now what people are doing is not listening to each other. They're not hearing each other, we're talking past each other, and we have gotten into a place that's not constructive, and we have to work our way back through it. I don't think it's fair to expect that just because Barack Obama is the first African-American president that he was going to snap his fingers and we were going to move out of where we were into a glorious place where we want to be. I think we still have a lot of work to do on it, and I think all of us are responsible for it.
Is it fair to say that race relations aren't as good as they were when he took office?
Well, I think we are not as good as where we were, but I don't think that that's just his fault. I think that we have had some real complications in this country, and to expect him to have solved it by himself, you would agree with me that it really takes two to tango. And so there's no question that we're having racial upset that we didn't have 3 or 4 years ago. However, it's completely wrong to say that the country is in utter chaos and turmoil. That's just not accurate. Mayors of major American cities, which I am one of, and their mayors, Republicans and Democrats, are doing incredible things in our cities. We deal with difficult situations all the time. You see it, whether it's Boston, Orlando, whether it's the shooting that's in Dallas, whether it's a mass shooting on a playground that we have. We deal with this stuff all the time. And the next president of the United States has to be able to deal with them too. And what you want to do is have somebody that's got a steady hand, that's predictable, that's thoughtful, that can work with Congress, that can work with governors, that can work with mayors. Congress hasn't been doing a particularly good job of that lately. Mayors have not been waiting for them. This is true about Republicans as well. You talk about, you from Dallas, right? Mike Rawlings is doing a great job in Dallas. Your police chief is doing a great job, and it's incredibly ironic that that shooting of those police officers actually took place in your city, because your city is one of the cities that has been working on this for a long time and actually was doing a really good job at it. But you can't ignore the reality of what's happening, and we have to address it, and we have to be thoughtful about it.
Policing's a local issue. What role does the federal government have in it?
Actually, it's not a local issue. I am one of those people that disagrees with that totally. In 1996, when we began to bring the crime rate down in this country, and by the way, it's 66% lower than it was then, the federal government was our partner. It wasn't like, look, that's y'all's problem. It's like, look, we have FBI, ATF, DEA, and then post-September 11th, of course, with the Department of Homeland Security and the application of TSA, which is in all of our cities. Those are all federal authorities. They partner with us all the time. As a matter of fact, in my city, run by my police chief, we actually have federal, state, and local authorities in the room together dealing with all levels of crime, whether it's cybersecurity, whether it's Homeland Security, and so it's a partnership. And we have to kind of get back to everybody taking responsibility for their piece and then us working together as a unit. And I think if we did that, we would actually be able to secure the streets of America better than we're doing right now.
So is the federal government a resource or is it an overseer?
It's actually both. It's a very good question because different parts of the federal government try to do different things. The Department of Homeland Security is a partner. Within the Department of Justice, the FBI, DEA, the U.S. Marshal, the ATF are partners. Civil Rights Division, overseers. And finding that balance and getting it right and making sure that the resources are there to bear are really, really important. And so I think that we actually need a new covenant specifically on public safety because what's happening is that our police departments, 800,000 police officers on the streets of America, are becoming the tip of the spear as it relates to counterterrorism. Because if ISIS is a threat, and they're going to threaten us on our homeland, the people that are going to show up on the scene first are going to be your local law enforcement and citizens who, if they see something, say something, have got to be partners. So I think we have to actually create a new partnership that we had many, many years ago, but for some reason has atrophied over the years to help make the homeland safe.
Last question.
Sure.
The prosecution against the 3 remaining Baltimore police officers just dropped today. To what extent do you think fear of prosecution hinders police officers in doing their job, causes them to under-patrol or under-police?
Well, I think it's a problem. We are, as I said, a nation of laws, not of men. And we have lost the balance here. Prosecutors are supposed to work off of facts and evidence before they bring charges. It's very hard because, again, they're under a lot of community pressure. And you have certain circumstances where police officers have done the wrong thing, and you have many instances when they've done the right thing. What we need is a system that's open, a system that's transparent. When there's a police-involved shooting, there needs to be, like we do in New Orleans now, an independent investigation so that the investigation itself can have clarity to the public. And more often than not, we're not getting that right now. So what you have in this community that's really dangerous is the community scared of the police, and right now the police are scared of the community. And that's not a good formula for the work that we're doing. And all the police chiefs and the mayors and all of our partners on the federal level have to get a handle on this, and we need to deal with it decisively. We need to deal with it thoughtfully. We have to listen to each other, and then we have to come up with a strategy that makes it work. Because at the end of the day, if you can't be safe, if you don't feel safe, 2 things. If you don't feel safe and you're not safe, you can't be free. And at the end of the day, that's really what we need in America for the country to do better.
Mayor, thank you for your time.
Great, thank you. Appreciate it.